Look, I think yet again this is a shameful response from the First Minister. These are people who have been through hell and back, and actually several times. When the families were in the Parliament, he turned his back on those families, and many people heard the strength of feeling of those families in response to that. He then rightly agrees to meet the families, but doesn't give a full and unequivocal apology. And let's not forget, these are families who have lost loved ones in many cases. In many other cases, their children or loved one have been harmed. At the same time, a government was saying that there's nothing to see here, everything is safe, it's all made up, the staff aren't telling the truth, the family are being misinformed, and there was layer after layer of deceit that came from the health board and from the government. So it's right that John Swinney has now given that fulsome apology, but he should do it to these families' face, and he should start telling them the truth rather than year after year of trauma, deceit, lies and cover-up that sadly has become the hallmark of not just his leadership but 20 years of SNP government.
Moving on, it's obviously been a very eventful night for Glasgow. You visited the scene of the Glasgow fire. Who did you meet while you were there?
So I spoke to many of the volunteers from many of the businesses who were helping to manage the streets, the pedestrians, and also many of the police officers on the front line, as well as speak to many of the businesses that are directly impacted either because their own businesses or buildings have been destroyed or they're in neighbouring streets that have been closed down. And first and foremost, I want to say thank you to the emergency services for their rapid response. I don't think you can emphasise enough how brave these individuals are. When people rightly run away from danger, these people run towards danger in order to protect their fellow citizens, and they deserve absolute praise for that. But we do now have to think about how we support those local businesses, how we make sure there is safety on the site, it's secured, how we can get travel back active again, for example at Central Station or the various bus routes that have been impacted by this, and also to try and encourage commuters, business people, workers and travellers into the city again, so we can get it, the heart beating of our great city centre. But on a personal level, I have been down at that site countless times, in whether I was a young person, a student, or even after that, and to see those scenes last night and to see the level of destruction this morning is frankly heartbreaking from such an iconic part of our great city.
If it does come out that the fire started from a vape shop, would you be calling for tougher regulations on such lithium batteries?
Look, I think in the cold light of day, once this is fully under control, once the building is safe and secure, once we can get free flow of traffic and hopefully those businesses up and running again, there'll be many areas that of course people will want to explore to make sure we have the right levels of regulation, legislation, but also the right levels of support for individual businesses. And that may well include looking at the safety and security around vape shops, what happens around many of the batteries that exist around that, the storage of them, as well as the right levels of support that are going to go to individual businesses. Many of these businesses have lost their livelihoods, which is of course heartbreaking for them, their family, their staff, as well as the broader emotion that people feel across the city, as well as obviously speaking to the fire and rescue service to make sure they feel as if they were adequately resourced and supported. I think that's also going to be an important part of the conversation, but these are of course all things that we'll look at in the coming days.